the bracket to talk you through basically where we're standing at the moment, where things are panning out here in ESL Challenger League. And of course, like I mentioned, we've got quite a few games today of action. We are covering the PERA versus aTTaX game here on the A stream. There's plenty more. We'll come back to all of that in a little bit. Let's take a look through the European format, however, before we get underway. Now, I know it looks confusing, and don't get me wrong, it is slightly to a degree, but all that you need to know is that fundamentally 2 teams from this will go in towards ESL Pro League Season 20. Nice and simple, all right? That's how it works. We've got 4 groups that play out. When you go through the groups, the top 2 get guaranteed through. The second 2 below that go through a kind of a mid-bracket type thing, as we like to call them. And the bottom 2, unfortunately, do just get eliminated. Kind of like a lower bracket and upper bracket type vibe. And then, of course, that's how the play out in a relatively standard way. Top 2, like I said, stay in ECL, guaranteed. Of the lower group, this is, and then as you see, 3rd to 6th relegation, and unfortunately, the bottom 2 are relegated. There is a relegation tournament after the tournament, which includes some other teams as well coming through. I'm right in saying from the likes of Advanced, so you get some of these teams moving up, some of these teams moving down. It's sort of like a Premier League football type format, that kind of vibe, right? We've got a lot of teams here competing for those 2 elusive spots, though, in Pro League. Some of which very good, some of which are in changes as well. Apex probably one of the most notable ones. Monty as well, right? Both of these 2 teams with a number 1 and number 2 seed in this tournament, and both of them currently have 3 or less players in their roster. So very interesting times there. It's probably going to be a bit of a shake-up here at the top end. We do have now Script to join us. Welcome, brother. We're just talking through the format. Like we said, we've got a cool game today. There's 4 games consecutive, or 3, I think I'm right in saying, is Apex taking on System 5, Space taking on Eyeballers, and then, of course, our game, which is aTTaX versus PERA.
Yeah, well held. Sorry about that. Not really sure what's gone down, but I'm here now, so it's all good, mate. That's all that matters. But yeah, indeed, aTTaX PERA here, I think, is going to be a pretty exciting game. Obviously, we get the pick of the games and get to see what they are ahead of time and which ones we want to come in for. And I think we felt that this one was a pretty decent matchup here. Obviously, we've not got Dust 2 in the mix yet, so it's not super spicy, as it were, but it is good to see a team that I think on both ends, obviously PERA looking really great coming out of Pro League, which is a fantastic run for them. They've sort of shut up a few of the people that maybe had question marks about this team. aTTaX, meanwhile, have been on a really solid run over the past few weeks. You know, it was a bit rough for them coming together. A lot of young players. How do they fill the gaps left, particularly by Slacks? But they seem to be returning to form pretty well here the past few weeks.
Yeah, I'd say about in the kind of best of 3s last few months, kind of, or like even just the last month, so to say, it's about a 70% win rate or higher. It's pretty decent in all fairness. In the tier 2 circuit, it's very chop and changey. The opponents you come against sometimes can be the real upper echelons, other times not so much. So for them, good consistency across the board. And then some of the losses they're taking, to a degree, you can maybe give them benefit of the doubt. Sashi in particular, that was like a week ago. Fair enough. Sashi arguably one of, if not the most informed side right now. PERA on the other side, their run doesn't look as good. It's a hell of a lot of losses. However, when you consider the teams they're coming against, the caliber of opponents, it's fair enough. Coming off the back of Pro League, back-to-back losses with FlyQuest and Big. They did pick up a win versus NIP before that. Then, of course, they started off their tournament with a loss to Complexity. So overall, 1-3. It's not the worst run out. Maybe could have been a little bit better. Big felt like it potentially could have been a winnable game. That third map didn't quite go their way. Crimbo did step up in quite a big way. Tabs and a lot of good clutches as well. We spoke to them off the back of that pretty insane run. And FlyQuest as well potentially was a similar one. We do have another bit of a bracket as well to bring you to show you where things are panning out here in the ESL Challenger League EU side of things. This is the lower group, and of course, like we said, PERA, they took down Eyeballers. They got taken down by Eyeballers, which hence means that they're now against aTTaX. And this is it's pretty big, right? Lose this, and every round saying you go down to Advanced.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you want to be dropping at this stage of the tournament, you know. So kind of surprising. We obviously tout this as kind of a banger matchup. Both these teams, though, unfortunately, I suppose, getting caught at a difficult time, or whatever it may be. They both dropped down. They've not done well in the mid group either. So, you know, it's a bit of a rough showing for them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this team, and whether, I don't know though, man. It's like alternate attacks and PERA. I think neither of them should really be here, based on where current form is at. But fair's fair. They went down to space. They went down to eyeballers. Eyeballers in particular have actually been looking relatively good recently. I think surprising a few people with their performances.
I think you're right. I think you're really right. I mean, I think eyeballers, in all fairness, they went through a couple of changes. They also recently just got some actually really big investment. They had, I forget exactly the name of the guy, but professional footballer over there and a few others. They got some pretty big names who've jumped in on the investment bandwagon, which is good for them. It means they got basically just support. It's good for the confidence and all of the rest. Loser of this going down to advanced it's pretty big, right? I think, these are two pretty big names, pretty big organizations. Alternate aTTaX used to always make very deep runs in ESL Challenger Meisterschaft. They were always kind of hunting for that national championship spot. PERA recently, their run of form has been great, right? We kind of spoke about them with Pro League and all the rest. So to potentially have either of these sides in advanced also kind of feels unfair for the advanced teams. They're going to get smurfed. There's no two ways about it. But let's take a look at the schedule for the A and the B stream today. We have, of course, like you mentioned, aTTaX versus PERA over here, and then Team Space taking on Eyeballers over on the B stream.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked sort of our game to death a fair amount, but we can touch a little bit on Space Eyeballers. I think, again, two really solid teams at the moment. Eyeballers in particular, it does seem that there was a good run of form for them about a month ago or so. They started off pretty strong. Very up and down kind of team. There is great potential behind them. A lot of young guns. Golden sort of coming in recently may well be a turn of fortune for them. Coming a bit close in places, taking maps here or there off of some of the bigger teams in Tier 2 at the moment. Space, I think, are the ones, though, that are very, very surprising. Not a lot of people will have been paying much attention to this squad. One of the things to say as well for them is something like Challenger League is one of the few tournaments that they're in at the moment. They're actually not playing loads and loads of officials. So I think that's something to consider. There's a bit of talent here. Danis is obviously a solid name that didn't quite work out in Bet Boom, but a really good-looking player at the minute. I do feel, though, it's one of these teams where you have a few unknown names. Vert and Trinique look pretty good to me as well. They ultimately have bursted onto the scene. Not a lot of people are going to know who these guys are, and they look good.
Yeah, absolutely that. Absolutely that. And now, of course, we'll be heading underway into the game in just a second. This one, for me, it feels like a very important thing to talk about, of course, is the veto, right? This is really going to set the tone coming in towards this sort of series. PERA, LAN experience recently for them is a very good thing to have under their belt and something which might give them confidence. And actually, they're going to go in towards that Mirage pick. I do actually like this. I think for them, well, on paper, it doesn't look all that great. They played against FlyQuest and beat them. And I think that's probably the most important thing for them. And that's where they're saying recently we've got a little bit to work around with. I think especially if the rumors are true that they're playing with Corey, that will help him. It's a very easy map to kind of just slot yourself into. Of course, he'll be playing a hell of a lot of kind of FPL and all the rest. And it's a big punish pick towards alternate aTTaX. They play this map 17 times and they have got a 12% win rate. So it's rough, really, really rough at the least. Then we go towards Vertigo. The same story flipped. Very good for alternate aTTaX on paper. Very, very poor for PERA. They're 0-6, right? 6-map losing streak is not what you want on that Vertigo. And then if we need it, the Anubis, much more even of a map, definitely could swing basically either way.
Yeah, I think the Mirage is obviously the one that stands out a fair bit. The one thing that PERA have got going for them is the fact that, they take down FlyQuest on it. But when it comes to online prior to Pro League, not really the best map for them either. So I think it's a very risky pick, if you ask me, unless they have kind of come back from EPL and been like, okay, let's take that one map. I kind of like the way that looks. Maybe we can play it a bit better than we thought. But they also come in tonight, as far as we're aware, with Corey. That's at the very least how it is listed. So we'll see once we get on the server if there's any difference there. That's a player who, not only has he not played for a fair while, he wasn't necessarily a coach behind these guys. He's just maybe a bit of a mate. But yeah, not only has he not played for a fair while, a few months since an official, he's not played in Europe for almost a year, So I think that is kind of something to consider, really, is that it's obviously a very, very different type of environment. He was playing with Rare Atom over in Asia for a while there. Didn't quite work out for whatever reason, alongside Fuzi at the same sort of time. So I think it's going to be a real wake-up call for this guy coming into Europe once again. So I'm a little bit worried. I think the Mirage is a pick. I get it. It's a punish. But, like, I don't think alternate attacks are going to come in going, oh, yeah, man, you know, Mirage, oh, we definitely should be able to win. You know, they're just going to roll through, see how it goes, play a bit looser, maybe play unpredictable based on the individuals. And that can be really, really hard to play around. We say it a lot. We've seen it a lot. Mirage as a map is very, very shaky as a pick. You know, it can blow back in your face quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of those things where potentially it could go a little rough. We do have some predictions, though, from us heading in towards this game, of course. We've kind of called both of these teams a decent amount, but I think one in particular, of course, PERA at Pro League. We've both gone with the Pro League pick here of PERA, just based on the fact of their recent experience and hoping that something can work out for them. The only caveat, though, is absolutely just outstanding. They dropped Kia Cardau today, was the announcement. So it is pretty recent. I'm not too sure how much time they've had prac and prep-wise with the likes of Corey and towards the team. But
yeah,
I honestly thought Kia Cardau was pretty good at Pro League. So I think it's, yeah, I'm quite surprised, in all honesty.
Yeah, not quite sure. Not quite sure. We'll see what happens with him. Might be a move on to somewhere else, maybe as a part of that. You know what I mean? But we shall see. We shall see, of course. I'm a little bit, after seeing the veto, I'm a little bit like, oh, maybe my prediction's not as solid as I thought. But there you are. You know, we have to give them ahead of time, of course. So we'll see how it pans out. We've got the Kadir player to watch as well here, folks. DGL, Deagle, as far as we are aware. I think a lot of people say DGL, but it seemed in an interview, I believe with Aaron, he called him Deagle. So we'll flow with Deagle for now, try and get it to catch on in the hive mind of casters. But he looked fantastic. Probably their best player, I think, at Pro League, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, incredible with the AWP, right? He was just so damn solid. And I think that's one of those things for us. We want to just see that level of consistency then translate back into the online performances. It's not always the easiest thing, especially playing online. You can be basically just quite tired more than anything, right? It's quite a fatiguing event, Pro League, right? It takes a lot out of you. They weren't a team who made it to playoffs, so at the very least, they've had that kind of caveat, a bit of time back home now, a bit of time to kind of get back used to playing the online environment. But yeah, for us, really, really impressive player. Somebody who was so damn good on LAN. So hoping that can basically go back in towards the online performances. He was someone, without a shadow of a doubt, who was basically a lot of time kind of keeping PERA alive in some of those games as well. So really talented guy. I think without a doubt, kind of our player to watch, you have to keep an eye on. But the good thing is they do have a couple of different facets of firepower. On the other side, probably arguably the guy you keep an eye on too is the other AWPer of Hyped, right? This guy is so damn talented as well. Obviously, a stint on Big didn't exactly go too successfully, but I think at aTTaX, he sort of found his confidence and his level, and so far, so good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that it has been, you know, a time for these players to get comfortable on aTTaX, as we've talked about. You know, they were right on top of EU Tier 2, it felt like, panning out towards the end of last year, and then ultimately it felt good. We are straight into the action, though, Neo. We're not messing around here, of course. Pistol already getting kicked off, kind of without us a little bit. PERA all over B, and looking good. Ozek, the only one that remains. He's coming in quite late, so I think this 1v3 going to be pretty hard for him.
It's not easy, is it? Not at all. Ozek, what do you got for us? Anything would be nice, but a quick B pop by PERA. As well, and another step to her. They all just avert their attention the second they hear that step. Maybe we'll see off the last. Nice and easy. That'll be PERA putting that first round on the board very, very simply indeed. I mean, now one of those things as well where for PERA, taking a pistol like that confidently and, you know, getting the bomb pull and all the kills and the rest gives them a lot of money to work with. Also going to give them a lot of that confidence just to take raw angels. This is basically one of the ways in which we're going to expect them to find success. It is Corey in the server too, which is pretty awesome to see. Of course, a guy who, honestly, you know, his Sangal days were very, very solid.
It is true. It is true. I think there was a time where he was looking pretty good, but I don't know if there is a move for him where, you know, he's looking at different avenues. As we said, we saw him behind the team at Pro League, and he was doing a fair job. I think he was more of a man management kind of guy. Hold the point, because the 5-7s are getting into the mixture here. Gotta find the second kill. Oh, Dirksen. Quick kill from him. Really does keep it alive. However, PERA... yeah, it's tough. They found the kills there, but they are a little unsure now. It's like, we've been seen. What do we do from here? They're just chilling right now, waiting for another push to come their way.
Ooh. Big flank now spotted. What is the play here now? Your own quantity. Bomb still wants to go towards B, it seems. There's 2 there to meet them. He's at the very least going to make their life a little bit difficult. Time ticking though, boys. 45 seconds. Got to make a move. B is going to be where they finish. 1 up via short, 2 via apartment. So they've got the numbers game on this push, but it still is possible, potentially. Only thing that's worrying is that the Arrow only has a pistol and Hype only has a scout, but the scout is going to tag.
Could make it work here, of course. Oh, my goodness. Nearly overlooking Aaron down below. DGL left low. Poya also left low. Freeze's location known. Poya walking into him in the smoke. I thought maybe that was part of his idea. However, it works out. It works out. You know, playing around the edge of that smoke, ready for the fight. Does save PERA. My goodness, that's super close. That is really, really hard fought.
Yeah, fair play. That Force actually does a decent job. Unfortunately, it's not enough to make a difference here, though. And it will now just be... well, unfortunately, it's actually the tech pause, in all fairness. So we're going to come back to us for a little moment here. A little bit of a tech issue before we get back underway. But, yeah, force buy unsuccessful. Basically kind of means this round is a bit of a throwaway, and it will be PERA heading up to a third. You'd hope without too many casualties, considering they're probably not going to have too much of an opposition. It's unfortunate, though. aTTaX, they actually made a very decent effort out of that. Going down to that 1 versus 1, with how low both were, easily could have swung either way inside of that smoke, but not to be. Not to be. The Glill will see it off in the end. So I guess that's all that basically already that PERA care about, is that they saw it over.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that early on as well, they want to get the rounds in. As we talked about, this Mirage could be really difficult. So if they just can't find a solid ground to work with, then aTTaX could, again, just coax through and be like, all right, whatever. We know that we've got Vertigo in the bag. Yeah. So anything that happens on Mirage here will be a nice change of pace, and they'll look to work with what they get on this map at the end of the day. So PERA getting in early. It is going to be tough here. I'm also very curious now as to what aTTaX decide to do. Sometimes, if they were on the T side, we'd definitely see them force here again, you know, bringing it down to just 1 player. A lot of teams on that T side would go in for another buy. I'm interested, though, on the CT end of things. You know, we had a few players, getting kills. So they'll bring some threat with a few upgraded pistols and whatnot, bit of armor in there. So a well-placed kill could turn the tide of this one, get an AK into the hands of an armored opponent.
Yeah, they might be tempted, you know. They might be tempted. Let's see. Tap on the corner. Damage dealt. Enough for the kill, but try to keep them at bay. At least for now, that Deagle. Freeze hoping to find a head, but he'll lose his life instead. Corey, Mac 10 for that first. Spamming on towards the close left. Nobody there, but that's the A side taken already.
Corey down pretty early into proceedings here. We'll see. Mac 10 is all that they find off the back of that, however. Bibu to hold for the ecos, creeping round. Maybe should have been bested there by the Mac 10. I think Hype messed it up ever so slightly, fell off his perch. They know exactly where he's at. So, not going to be a challenge here at all. It's just a case of whether he could get out. Deagle, though, will spot him. Little chunky around that corner. 3 on the trot here for PERA, making good money.
Yeah, nice and easy. Nice and easy. But of course, that round was expected to go their way without too much of a competition. That's, of course, exactly what we got. Now into the first full buy, the first true full buy out for aTTaX with the rifles. Now we've got to see what they can bring in response, what they're looking like. I think as it being said, right, for PERA, this is a great start, but hasn't been, I guess, the best competition. Now it will be a test. Ash going to come over. They'd take it for PERA. Swing in towards, and it goes badly, very badly for aTTaX.
Yeah, that's not a good look to begin. Bibu as well on the creep here. Molotov. Oh, might give it a fight. However, he tunnels in a bit too hard. So we shall see. Mid-control does look good for PERA. But what can they do with it? I like the move from aTTaX as well. Looking to gamble on a Deagle creeping round. Orb flashed off from the top of Toll Booth. And it looks like they will potentially end A. And they're just kind of hanging around at the moment. aTTaX got to be careful not to give their game away. Maybe they have shown a bit too much attention there. At the very least, it's not hop, skip, and a jump here for PERA to go, okay, there's probably 2 on A, so we've only got 1 to deal with on the other side. So much noise from Poya. If Ara can find this, it could have turned things around. However, he is not really going for it. Oh, okay. Little weird. But the bomb's going down on B. There's surely no way that we get this here on the alternate attack side.
Arrow, what have you got for us? Looks like, yeah, already that early save maneuver. Perks might potentially get something on the tail end here. Does kind of look like they want to X out in this direction, but he's not holding for the aggro play. Oh, yeah. I was kind of tempted to look CT. He's got Corey holding. They could potentially swing on towards his AWP. Just depends whether they check this properly. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, really nicely done from Corey. Knows his angles, knows them well. That's the AWP gun as well. Could be picked up if they want to tease that AWP. I'm not too sure if you'd want to. Mariah sees that AWPing is pretty difficult. But it also means no AWP for alternate attack. So a 4-0 start is very, very good to see. It has to be said, this German roster are really under a lot of pressure right now. Nothing really going their way. Everything they're trying is kind of coming up flat. It's tough. I wouldn't even mind attack pause relatively early either, just to kind of try and bring them in some way competitively back in towards this game.
Ooh, Arrow left low early on here, and a bit of a shame for him being the only rifle player. PERA, I think, cautious, unsure. Certainly could have had a cobbled together buy here from alternate attack. So, you know, with the tracking of that economy, I think PERA indeed will not throw caution to the wind in a round like this. It's definitely not an anti-eco kind of vibe. Arrow with a little creep does not spot anything. It's an A lean here, though, now. So I think alternate attacks are in the right place right now. Yeah,
at the very least, they've kind of got the correct idea. Oh, yeah. We'll move here. He's very tentative, however, from PERA. Not giving up anything at the moment. Not risking anything going against them. Which, in all fairness, I have a lot of credit for. 45 seconds. And the first bit of contact starting to be made here. It's hyped. That pistol going to be flashed further back. And he's also going to be caught by Corey. There's the first after a long while here in this first round.
Oh, Poya. Good find from him. 5-7. A bit of a weird angle. Probably would have preferred a deagle from there. Arrow too many targets. Splits them down the middle. All the same. Perks nice and alone. Probably just going to try and get a cheeky kill. Keep the economy modest, but will not happen. 5 in a row now as PERA are starting to take over the game. Alternate attacks. Not expecting much from them in that round. They've got to give us something here in this one, though.
They're in a really good spot. 5-0 start is exactly what you want to see. PERA, their map pick. A map in which, you know, quite rightfully, you know, we spoke a little bit about saying there is an inherent risk just picking in towards puggy maps, like your Mirages, like your Infernos, I mean, even like your Dust 2s currently. They can leave you a little bit exposed. So far, anything but for PERA. Playing it, you know, we kind of spoke a little bit about this, kind of the way in which they'd approach it. It is a little bit looser. A little more puggy, but it's working. Ain't broke, don't fix it. At the very least, that's the mindset right now. Oh, Heights was holding. Just he starts to hold, though. They start to maneuver in towards the site.
Oh, yeah. A little low at the front of this attack. Orzek as well, nice and confident. Spotted out now, though, at the stairs. They'll look to pump back in, get a smoke refresh coming round. So good sense of timing there from PERA. And Poya moves round. And also impeccable sense of timing. Those kills come in, and it has to be a save from alternate attacks. You do not have the rounds or the money to take the risk of the 3v5. And Poya has just kept on going here. Yeah, man. Alternate attacks look kind of out of it on this map. Not really ready for the confidence of PERA. And just getting caught by a lot of these exchanges.
Yeah. You know, we spoke about it. It's not a great map. for aTTaX on paper. I mean, they have really been punished on it recently a lot, but even still, not competing at all is pretty damning. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Like I said a little bit earlier, I would love to just see attack pause to change the tempo of how things are at the moment. It's not a pretty sight. Perks might even struggle to save here. No. Just about. Just about. Tuck his head around that corner. Yeah, even still, it's not a good spot to be in. Not a good spot to find yourself in. There's attack pause finally. Not too little too late, but it still is a pretty damning score they have to try and find themselves back into. 6-0 down already is pretty rough.
Yeah, they kind of know it, and game's starting to get away from them. Again, this is one of the things as well, though. We're confident in the Vertigo. They'll be confident in it, but you don't want to hinge everything on...
Oh, for sure.
The 2 maps as well is the thing. It's not just this one, but... Yeah, it's really, really scary, I think, already. And PERA playing well, PERA playing confidently. Corey not doing bad, you know, he looks comfortable.
Yeah.
So... Again, I think they're in for a pretty good time. And one of the things as well that we see a lot in the Tier 2 is when you get one of those teams that goes into Pro League, regardless of how they got there, they play well, or even if they don't, they might take a map off a big team or something like this. And it just gives you a real burst of motivation and confidence for the next few months. And a lot of teams tend to find success after a Pro League. So many games as well, so many officials, so...
True.
Yeah, so many opportunities for you to show yourself, and the emotional side of things as well, getting on top of that, something that we talked about. We covered, like, PERA's first game, and, you know, a few other players were a bit dejected. It didn't go so hot for them on some of the maps, and some of the situations didn't really go their way. And we were like, this could be problematic. And then they were, like, full of energy, you know. So it's all these types of things that are really going to help into the online games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In this round... Similar to what PERA normally do, where they slow things down. This time they're going to get caught. EGL. Dropped. At the very least, that'll give a little bit of something for aTTaX to work with. Numbers in their favor. They're going to take every day of the week.
Hype's ready to go on the AWP, though. Oh, he's not going to get pushed off. This could be a little scary. Nothing there. AWP reveals itself, however. Maybe that makes a difference. They're getting kind of restless on the AA side of things. Corey with mid-control, flown by, driven by. 1-3. This could get interesting. CT not smoked off, and they had absolutely no respect for the angle. They will be abused, and alternate aTTaX, they take their first round with a nice, confident, forward-facing, taking all the fights kind of round.
Yeah.
See if they can turn it into a streak.
I got to respect it. That's the right way to play one of those rounds. Come into it with, you know, not the best firepower going. No two ways about it, but make it work. Play to yourselves. Play to your advantage. That's exactly what they're going to do. Really solid. It's a, you know, at the first step in probably what needs to be a really long road to recovery, but that is the right sort of step. Work. Ball's going to come through immediately out of PERA. Not incredibly surprised about it, that they know that these last few at the very least, even the ones that have been winning, have actually been a little bit closer than they would probably like. So risky, at no point kind of overplaying your cards here. Let's just slow things down a tad, get some form back into this as best we can, and that's exactly what we're going to do. They do have a buy, it's fine. They've got plenty of money left in the back pockets. We know that, so they're not exactly struggling by any means.
All right, let's see. What's the bounce back looking like? I love the angle. However, the flash, super effective. Gives alternate aTTaX a moment of respite. We'll see what happens. They're keeping presence all around middle right now in the underpass. Success is found. Solid advantage for PERA to work with, and it's only in the first 30 seconds too.
This is good. This is workable, like you said. We'll go a little bit quiet, though, off the back of it. They're actually going to start to make a move here. Smoke will be naded. BB going to continue to move his way forward. This is quite risky. Inherently, you are giving an opportunity potentially for someone to be lurking behind that. Double stack on that left-hand side. No flash. Could be a rough one. One playing anti as well behind that little cubby. This could be a little bit of a massacre. And it looks like they're opting to make contact here too. Oh my god, it doesn't work well. First, and I think Arrow's dead. Oh, that's really poorly played. The setup was lovely, but the execution of it was pretty terrible.
Yeah, again, a bit out of their depth when it comes to general team play on this map, it feels. I don't know. It's weird, you know, when you see a team feeling this awkward. They have the track record that they do. Kind of just beg the question. It's like, are they really practicing this map? Or are they just playing when it crops up? You know, I think obviously they're going to be plugging it in their own time. They'll have a good idea. You know, they are high-level pro players. But when it comes to the alternate attacks Mirage, I don't think there is much work being done there.
I think you're right. I think you're right, honestly. There's just not been a huge amount on offer so far this game, which would give us any indication of anything different. So hard at the tail end, and Freeze will stay alive just. He'd have to kind of work for a little bit, but staying alive is all that matters. 7-1, though. At this point, we're already getting kind of where we're starting to say, who cares, right? Rounds on the board is all that we're going to start to care about. 7-1, though. That 6-round buffer is massive. And on the T side, no less. Oh, Deagle. That is ridiculous.
One way to kick off proceedings. And very confident. Definitely part of the idea. Definitely knew about that. They've been throwing that short smoke, which you don't see as much of these days, but they've been throwing that quite regularly on the T side. Not here this time. So absolutely calculated mid-peak. And that is a tilter to be on the end of, I can't lie to you, you know what I mean? Really nasty. Deagle not quite fast enough for that one. Again, showing presence. Scaring the alternate attacks boys in their own home. Bomb, meanwhile, shaping up for a contact A. Oh, good timing on it. Good catch from them as well. Again, change-up. A conditional change-up. They've been executing in A a lot with the same sort of smokes there. They just go nice and dry. Will it work out for them in the long run, though, is the big question here. 3 versus 3. Aaron isolated, dropped, bomb also on the deck. And the remaining 2 are split pretty heavily as well, all over the place right now for PERA.
Bibu could get some good space here, though. I don't know if he'll be a known quantity. Not at the moment, at the very least. He might have decent timing. Now he's spotted, but the swing is brilliant. Freeze again getting caught. Got caught last round, gets caught this one too. You know, tougher kind of run out here for alternate attacks. These sort of rounds, these 2v2s, convert this in a good spot, lose them, and I'll continue to start to knock the nails on the coffin.
Big kill from Perks. Eagle left alone, hardly any time to work with, trying to create some space for himself here as well, and actually not even going in for the bomb plant, not feeling confident enough to do that, trying to get out with the AK, denied that opportunity. I didn't quite track his money. I'm not sure if that was after time or not. I mean, down to 4K when the rest of the team is pretty wealthy. It might actually have been, but yeah, neither here nor there. They'll be able to drop across. This is an important buy regardless of whether he lived or not. So we'll see. Alternate attacks. Number 2. Let's go. They got to get the rest, though, for me. They've got to bring this to a 7-5.
I think I'm with you, man. I think 8-4, actually the way they've been playing just won't be enough. Get up to 5 and... well, maybe a chance. But I feel like even that feels slightly audacious. Hype setting up for Yuto here. Molotov trying to go towards back box as it seems. We'll drop it. Flash is good, but touching towards Delpa and also trying to try and clear him. Hard focus, and he will get the kill towards Aaron. Doesn't get traded, finally does. That was so scrappy.
Man advantage, though, once the dust settles. There was just sort of a cheeky extra kill there from Arrow. Bomb nowhere to be seen, so as they push in deeper, yeah, it's all kind of in vain. They've got to drop back and get that bomb and reset this control at the end of the day. Where do we go from here? Not an easy question to answer at this venture.
It's eerie, isn't it? Really quiet. 3v2, numbers good here. For aTTaX, this could be a very, very important round because it has an effect on the econ over towards PERA. Not enough to kind of break them, but with DGL and BB both shy of 1k, they dip into a buy. It's not exactly the greatest, and maybe, just maybe, something to work with. 20 seconds, they're making the move towards A, and Arrow's starting to double back over, so he might have read this well.
Possible. We'll see. Ollie's come in, giving them some space here to get that bomb down. One confirmed at CT. So little tidbits of information being picked up here by PERA. Clear out as well from Poya. I do like what Perks is doing, though. Taking his time, you know, knows they might be looking for him at short, and he's just not giving the peek. Not giving the info. Lovely smoke comes round. That will deny a lot of vision away, and they are not paying attention towards short at the moment at all. Nade onto the smoke. Confirms there's nobody on the bomb, though. Return kill is there. They've all got kits to work with. Poya trying to get them off, but it's just not going to work out. And there was Perks with his late plate to finish off proceedings. Alternate attacks, picking up steam.
Yeah, got to be said as well. This is exactly what we wanted to see tail end. We said 5 at the very least is one of those where it's workable, and this could have been the round that maybe pushes things in their favor. Now we're seeing PERA dip into the slightly lesser buys. Double Galil coming through for Bibu and Corey. Most importantly, a little bit of kind of that lesser util. Important. aTTaX taking them a long time, but they finally awoken here in towards Mirage, and probably when it mattered most. Win this round here, they basically guarantee 5, and BB's a lucky man to still be alive. Hyped is a very unlucky man not to get that kill.
Oh, boy, trying to find a trade. Not quite there. The exchange going the way of alternate attacks to begin with, but still everybody survives. Ozek, good read, good idea. Can Aaron get the better of him? All a question of timing. Corey up top. So this could be a nice little two-piece if Ozek plays things correctly. Does he have a full read? Does he have full recognition is kind of the question at this point in time. Fair bit gone. No kills yet. DGL. He silences me, though. However, Ozek will get the Aaron frag. So we're back to the drawing board, particularly for that T side. Where do they go now?
Boosting towards window. He has now heard the steps out via CT. So he might be able to slip the gap here. Ozek's doubling back. Dead man walking. Surely will be caught. That's huge. That might prompt him towards A now. Free's got to do a bit of heroics backside. He's not going to peek. I actually like this, but Bibu should clear him. You'd hope. Bibu doesn't need to be holding bottom stairs anymore, though. His teammates have come through jungle, so Bibu's got to clear backside. Has to. And Corey might die here before Bibu swings round. This is all about timing. Yeah, down he'll go. Swings too late there. Poya, though, getting a double is huge. DGL going to see off one of his own as well. And that'll be back into the winning ways. So 5 will not be a possibility for aTTaX. 4 is the best that they can get.
It's rough. It is rough. I mean, it's one of the things, you know, we're seeing a nice couple of rounds come out from them, some decent retakes, but obviously, I don't have to explain to you that it's taken too long, and that has cost them in a pretty big way. So, PERA looking for a final round. A rush, and they will indeed get ahead of the Molotovs, find that first kill. Ozek flying around, nobody in his crosshair, unfortunately. Bibu continues the kill streak for PERA. Hyped and Perks remain all alone. Now just Hyped. His position revealed. Into the fire he will go. I'm not sure if he's going to fully make it out of there, though. Ooh, be careful here. He's getting some good angles. No. 1v1. He's going to get it. Oh, my God. I don't believe it, Hyped. What is that? The 3-piece up close. That is absolutely insane from Hyped. Maybe it gives them the boost they need moving into the second half. We'll see after the break.
Welcome back. We are heading on the way in towards the second half. 8-4 is not bad for PERA, is it? In the molly, Corey sticking around for a bit of a fight, but it's Aaron to find the first. We are straight into the action, ladies and gents. And Aaron might be a dead man walking. Yes, he is. So is Corey.
Indeed. A good start for alternate attacks. I think they'll be very happy with that, actually. I'm interested to see how this T-side goes down. And this had to start well. But it's not a guarantee that it will finish well. There is still room. I love a mid-round setup like this. Let's just sit in a corner and see if anyone comes at us. PERA, though, not really moving. Still fairly static from them. Spread around, maybe a bit more of an alien, you could argue. Difficult for us to tell. It looks like alternate attacks will end A. And the position up here from Bibu could be massive. Give it a bit of time. Maybe he gets a good look in. They are obviously going to check for him. He's not really watching for it. And the contact works to completely catch them off. Great move from Orzek. He'd been waiting for that all round long. And that seals it in for me. Poya hanging around here would need something out of this world.
Yeah. Well, bomb will go down and Poya. Don't think it's going to happen. Spotted out now. Own quantity, and surely not long for the world. Actually, a really good pistol in the end. Auto attacks call for a great look and a mid-round pause. Wait for the opportunities. A contact play out via A. Very, very solid. You cannot complain with that. PERA to get completely blindsided by the Palace lurk. Super simple stuff. And for auto attacks, that's exactly the sort of start they needed coming in towards this, right? Without it, I think they would have been in a really tough spot where essentially PERA should have pulled away far enough where maybe the conversation about kind of recovering and all the rest is probably never going to happen. At least now, no buy out of PERA. Oldstack should get a sick there. 2 rounds in it. There's a game on our hands here.
Pretty wacky stack. We are seeing some nice stacks out in this game, to be fair. They'll be felt out, though. I think that bomb, yeah, is out of there. Everybody else is like, oh, boy, the ecos, you know, they're still sticking around on A. Freeze has got himself a little cut off here, but he has, of course, been left low. They're looking for him. Oh, and there he goes. Spots out one. But he is mainly the guy watching to continue to confirm that there is either no or low presence on B. Hype's coming in here. Is the setup sound enough? Not looking likely. One unchecked angle, and he may well go down. Yeah, he saw the other barrel. Lovely stuff from Hype there, staying cool. Would have only been a Mac 10, but he gets himself so much money, and that's in the hands of the AWPer as well now. So that's actually a really big deal.
Good cash to have under the back pockets. ATTaX now 2-round game. Absolutely doable. Bonus buy here in towards this round. Double Mac 10. Triple Galil. Basically, primarily everything that was saved over from the last few rounds, bar the investment of one of those Mac 10s. You look at it now, and if they're able to make something out of this round, considering there isn't a huge amount of util for PERA to work with, there's real potential at something working out here for them. It is that 5 M4 buy there for PERA, prioritizing firepower. I don't hate it, but it's not always the thing that works out best for you. Little flash over towards A. Commitment out of ramp here, and they're going to group up via Palace. It's a very slow move out of spawn here from ATTaX.
Very slow indeed. We're on freeze, and I think they're also waiting on freeze to gather some information. Draw some attention, because it is a very, very heavy alien. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about this one, boys. They're thinking about going through the smoke. Yeah, they are just going to barrel in completely dry, and it could be a bloodbath here. Looking very good indeed. Freeze caught from behind as well. Yeah, just absolutely no chance there. Right into the trap. And it will be a very clean one for PERA to get back on to the board.
Only the one casualty, too, is massive, right? I think, you know, considering that ATTaX for them, it is that bonus buy. basically they get anything in the region like kind of 2 to 3 kills, you can be pretty happy with. Only the 1, arguably not. And they do come in with that relatively fully fired. They would have liked at least a little bit more in the back pockets, maybe to facilitate those 2 AKs rather than the 2 Galils. Still 3 rounds ahead, so still will take, at the bare minimum, kind of 2 gun rounds out of alternate attacks to be able to tie this up, and they're on the harder side of the T side. Not the easiest. Once again, going to try and make a move here at range. PERA going to find the kill and goes untraded somehow.
Or Zek will also go down. Arrow. Yeah, nothing coming off here for alternate attacks, is it? Hype still got that open bomb, but I think he's been heavily spotted there. Freeze on a lurk. Just absolutely no chance, you know, and PERA getting up to double digits this fast is worrying signs, to say the least. I think it should be a done deal on this map. Certainly feels that way. Alternate attacks, you know, good start from them. But just hitting a brick wall.
Oh. He'll take 1. I do have the bomb, but it's such a long rotate for Hyped. He is so far away, and he actually probably now gets caught in transition, if he even gives us a go. I don't know if he will, but it does look like they're grouping up, so yeah, maybe they might be. Out by mid, looking back towards A. This should be heard, though. B-Boot can hear all of these steps. If he gets just this 1 kill on the rifle, that's the round that he will. Just like a dink. He catches Hyped. The time ticking, he will be caught. So, rifle upgraded to an AWP. Yes, DGL. Old Eagle will pick it up. Another round in which only 1 casualty for PERA. That is very solid. They're now 4 rounds ahead and only 3 rounds away. This is already starting to feel like we're getting towards the beginning of the end.
Very, very true here. Very, very true. That was kind of my vibe as well with the way that these past couple have panned out. Yeesh. Couple deagles. Alternate attacks not showing up to play as yet into this T side. Aaron with the moves. Making it look oh so easy. Honestly. I'm always jealous of the short jump. On a good day I can get the like the ladder room jump, you know?
Yeah.
But that short jump, man, it's never clicked for me. Never clicked for me. But maybe the one time that I get it will be the first of many. Either way, I don't play much Mirage. It's not a great map to pug. You all know that.
Oh.
Bibu. Oh my god. A little awkward for him. Thankfully, he wasn't getting checked, which is certainly a bit weird because he had swung out, but Freeze just completely flying in, trying to catch the short player. Bibu's ace robbed away. He will get the 4, though, and looking very comfortable here. He was certainly fish out of water the first couple of days at EPL.
Yeah.
1 map springs to mind, maybe 2, where he played okay. But here he's actually looking really good.
Yeah, considerably more confident in, I guess, just his own ability. And that's what you want to see. You do want to actually see BB flex a bit. He is an FPL star, right? He's one of these guys who's been... I'm pretty sure he's won FPL a bunch of times. He's, you know, at least in terms of this pugging nature about him, he can step up to the plate mechanically. It's just about, of course, team environment's so different. Mirage, the pugger's paradise, as they call it. In 21 and 10. Showing exactly that. All for the first. Super easy. Deagle looks for a second as well. And it's crossed on. He's going to make it look so easy. Deagle, brilliant couple of shots from him.
Trying to get the trade back. He escapes justice for now. Freeze as well. Oh my god, in the mixture. Doesn't go well for him. Could have been the other way. Deagle continues to chime in, and Ozek is like, well, what do you even want me to do here? No bomb. No mates. No hope. That's usually how it goes in CS, I suppose. And now no head. 12-6. PERA laying down the law here on Mirage.
Yeah. This is tough. Seriously, we've just not seen anything that's even remotely given us maybe what we want to see at aTTaX. We said this was a punish pit, yes. We said this is a map in which they're not great on, but they still should be able to put up some level of numbers, and it's just not even being remotely close. 12-6 now. Honestly, super simple stuff, PERA. Look at the bar they have to contend with as well, and what is potentially the final round. Glill's out. 1 sec 9. As Perks picks up the util. The Magic needed a mid. And a good start, but Aaron instantly trades. And Foy will add one more. This could be curtains already. Arrow's in trouble, but he finds 2. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe you speak a bit early there, sir. We'll see. Split across the map as well, the PERA defense. This could be alternate aTTaX, buying themselves some time. Very, very slow in the mid-round here, though. Just holding out to see what PERA's response may look like at the moment. They really are not moving. They know they have to defy the odds, as it were. I've got to be retrieved. It will be shortly. But then what? PERA have decided to group up quite nicely. Certainly a fan of this move. It's just a question of the guesswork. And fortunately, with doing that, they have left B completely undefended. Previously, Bibu, the highest fragger on the server, was along there to hold the defense. Well, this could be big, though. I'm waiting for Arrow to get into position, and intermittently, it's being held by Bibu. It's a question of whether he looks away, whether he misses the timing. Not going to be the case. Surely that starts to drip feed that it is B. However, they don't really move all that quickly now, so a clean bomb plant here for alternate aTTaX.
You thought that would probably kind of spur them on, right? And say, right, well, he's moving up short towards B. That's got to be where they're going. Doesn't matter, though. The Eagle going to find one with the AWP. This might be it, mate.
Very likely indeed. Perks hanging around. Oh, going to get dropped. Just doesn't know where to look. PERA will indeed get it done in very, very quick fashion. Only 20 rounds required from them. Super, super easy as they will take it over the line. And I mean, it is a little bit what we expected, isn't it? You know, a fantastic map for them at the end of the day. But I don't know, alternate aTTaX, they made us believe ever so slightly. A really nice opening into the second half.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, we really did get to see at least what we'd hope out of them on a map, which is technically a punish pick. The big question is this next one, right? We're looking towards Vertigo, and we've got a question on the other side. Is there anything in the locker for PERA to now translate this, you know, that kind of good result into finally any result on this map, right? The 0-6, right? 6-map losing streak. It's not been good. It's actually a very good map for alternate aTTaX. Without a doubt, their best map in the pool in terms of, I mean, maybe bar Inferno. But that was always going to be perma-banned out. So, yeah, it's one of those for me where I do feel very worried that that kind of dominant display could actually all be for nothing.
They do have a lot of tape to work with, though, both in terms of, you know, against alternate aTTaX, but also themselves. They played it a number of times at Pro League. It was a clear punish point for a lot of teams. Every single matchup, pretty much, they played it, and indeed they lost it. It was only FlyQuest that game that they didn't play the Vertigo. So, you know, and a 13-1 in there against Big. There's ups and downs. So we'll see if they have had chance to learn. I would have thought potentially not, just because there's not been an awful lot of time in there, and also, you know, the fact that they are down and, you know, replacing a player at the moment. So, you know, certainly difficult, I think, for them to lose Kia Cardao, and sort of quickly as well, not really being in the team all that long, that kind of thing. So I don't think they necessarily started anywhere with Vertigo. And yeah, I don't know that they will have done any work, would be my kind of prediction, to be honest with you now. That's sort of what I'm feeling. So I think we're definitely going to get 3 maps out of this. And Anubis will be where we decide things. But you never know. There might be a surprise that PERA are able to leave us if they can find it in 2. It would be quite something. Nonetheless, we got to take a break before we get there, folks. Make sure you stick with us. We'll be back soon. Howdy, folks. Welcome back in. Looking down the barrel of the second map here, of course, between Alternate aTTaX and PERA. Mirage going the way that we expected in the end. PERA looking pretty solid. Yeah. Maybe a bit of hope there for Alternate aTTaX into the second half. Got the pistol. We were like, okay, here we go. And then could not get the rifles going at all. You know, they just fell off a cliff. It's kind of fair. It's a map that it just looked like they really do not put the massive amounts of work into that maybe they'd want for a Mirage, but at the end of the day, their pool still looks pretty good. It's just the way that the chips have fallen, and now they get to activate their trap card, right? PERA's Vertigo is much the same as Alternate aTTaX's Mirage.
0-6, right? There's no two ways about it, and it's not been great. I mean, even at Pro League, right? It got picked into a bunch of times because teams knew they were weak on it, right? Even that kind of, you know, it started off against Complexity. 9 rounds against Complexity is actually not terrible in all fairness. They're a very decent team, so we'll give them their credits. 8 rounds against NIP, and then but losing that map I think is quite damning. I mean, NIP are, you know, they're a bit of a nothing team right now, so that was rough, right? You know, they're playing without Res as well, so it's basically what 2 core players of NIP and then 2 academy players standing, all the rest, right? Just that's pretty bad to be losing that map. And then against Big, 13-1. They got battered. I mean, it's not a great map. There's no two ways about it. And then even prior to that, they were playing it in Challenger League, losing to like a PERA System 5, Preezy. It's not a great map. It hasn't been. Teams are picking it into them because they just know it's basically a guaranteed win. I don't know. I think for me, it feels like PERA do not do any work on this map at all, because the way in which we caught them twice at Pro League, 2 of those maps, and both times it was pretty woeful. I mean, they really, really did just look so out of their place. They didn't know timings, didn't know setups. Their rotations are very off. They weren't covering for each other. The crossfires were very sloppy. There's a lot of mistakes that PERA make on this map. I'm going to make the assumption that they just don't do a lot of practice on it because they just play so many officials, but it is pretty inexcusable for a side who want to be obviously climbing in towards that upper rung, having, you know, your permaban of Inferno and then another map which basically should be a permaban. I mean, arguably, we actually made this conversation at Pro League, and we said, I actually think they should change their permaban. I think they should make it Vertigo their perma, and they should float Inferno, because at least Inferno, to a degree, is like puggy, and players like BB will play it in FPL all the time. And most of this team are basically, you know, via FPL, so they'll at least have so many reps in their own pugs. Vertigo, not so much, and it shows.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think as well, just had a little look to confirm another little tidbit from the Vertigo that we saw out of Pro League. A lot of their rounds came off the CT side, where you can play, you know, that more reactive kind of style. Maybe you've got an individual doing well, something like that. It was the T side that really let them down. So an area of contention for sure. I believe we have the fake knife coming here, but the game just about ready to get kicked off, in fact. And indeed, we should see PERA starting off on that CT side, you would presume. But all the same, I think it will be a difficult showing here. Alternate aTTaX should be able to get it over the line. But again, similar to the way that we felt with the Mirage, there is a world in which PERA could roll over them here, could just be the stronger team here today.
Yes. No, I think you're spot on. I think you're absolutely spot on. Let's take a look and see. We're heading in towards Vertigo now, and we have to see maybe if there's anything in the locker for PERA, or is this now them going 0-7, which is, that's rough, dude. That is not great if that is the case. It's one of those things where we came in towards this veto, we looked at it and we said, realistically, this very much does look like a series which got 3 maps written all over it from the get-go, just because of the veto. So we'll see as we head underway into our second map. A pretty one-sided affair, in all fairness, in Mirage. Might give them a bit of confidence, might give them something to work with, but all in all, I don't know how I'm feeling about this, because we saw what we did see at Pro League, and PERA are rough. Either way, we're on the way. PERA starting on that CT side. What do they got for us?
Well, here they will begin proceedings with, of course, the double Julie setup. Heavy A presence, not making a lot of noise to give away the fact that they've got 4 here. It's a quick ramp rush from Alternate aTTaX. Whether they follow up on this or not is, of course, another question. Bit of a classic at the moment. Run up, walk back down, and just starve the information. Just confuse that CT side. Doesn't seem to have paid off just yet, but they will start to doubt themselves, you know, drawing away from A. Still, though, the 2 sets of Julies are very, very close to the action here.
Pax, waiting. It's very, very slow. Not a huge amount. Not on offer. obviously bits of noise are being made, but PERA's still a little tentative of how they want to play. They're kind of just going for a bit of a buddy system, to be perfectly honest. They're just hoping they can play off each other. I might get a chance in a second. Smoke's going to come through. Molotov towards headshot as well. In comes the test. What have they got for us? Corey spamming. Julie's up close. DGL flashed. Oh my god, he's going to get one though somehow. And Julie's will get at least one more as well. So 3v2 is doable for PERA technically.
Well, unfortunately, not going to be the case. They will just barrel on in alternate aTTaX, take over quite easily. And that'll be a quick send-off in the pistol round. Not necessarily ideal. Alrighty, we'll see. I believe the hood getting sorted, I was also kind of confused as to which way we were flipping, but it seems like we're all good as things get going. I'm curious, though, alternate aTTaX in on the full force buy here. Lot of Galils out in play. Could be pretty scary. You would assume that they have an execute idea as well in the back pocket.
True. What's the play here for them? It's again slow behind these smokes. They're not wanting to tempt fate. I kind of don't blame them. Popping through a smoke on ramp is so risky, especially when you're kind of, in a way, at a slight disadvantage. However, there isn't really a lot of util for PERA to work with at all, right? They've got now 2 HEs and a smoke. If they're pulled into a retake, they're going to be in a really tough spot.
Aaron. Chilling. Oh, it's the rest of the boys that are going to make the noise, and Aaron comes around to just kind of seal the deal, really. Solid hold from PERA at the top end of ramp. Not really too much else presenting for the remaining alternate aTTaX players. I'm not really sure what they'd want to do from here, to be honest. Do you hold on to the Glils? Do you go in for it? I think you try and maybe take a rifle away or something like that. Easier said than done. But you never know. You never know. And a bomb plant as well. That's certainly on the cards. PERA will spot them out at the bottom end of ramp there. So they'll be ready for this hit to come round. Double swing. Find success. Only losing the one player. I think up against a force buy of that caliber from alternate aTTaX, you'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think you're kind of spot on. I mean, honestly, PERA have made that look very, very easy. And this is exactly how things started on towards Mirage as well. Like, kind of the initial gun rounds were super simple. You got to see PERA kind of really flex their muscles a little bit and alternate aTTaX really not get going. And kind of that main story that we saw in towards the first map was that the gun rounds from the alternate aTTaX side were so rough, right? They never really looked comfortable, basically, at all. We're hoping that they can change the narrative a little bit, but at least in that instance wasn't great. This round's a bit of a throwaway, but they have looked a little tough at times. And I do worry a little bit for me for alternate aTTaX if they're just mechanically not all there.
It is true. It is true. We'll see. Could get a bit scary. A pummel round here from PERA as well. Works pretty successfully for them. Again, just 2 remaining alternate aTTaX. We're not really expected to find anything in this round, but again, as you say, mechanically, they want to start proving themselves, even to themselves. Looking good. Corey finds the double at the end. 3 in a row for PERA. It's all about this one, though, isn't it? What's the response going to look like from this German majority?
Yeah, what they got for us? This gun round has to be good. It really does. If it isn't, I think they're in a tough spot. Things will start to, at least bit by bit, slip away. And at least as well, when you look at the other side, PERA got a little bit, quote-unquote, lesser firepower than MP9. Maybe there's a chance. But it's technically a bonus for them as well. Lots of spare money left in those back pockets. This round out of aTTaX is kind of a must-win, really. If they don't take it, they're going to really struggle to get out the gates. The tease out of Vertigo notoriously can be quite difficult to get going. So far, nothing has really shown from them at all. They've got 3 kills across all 5 players thus far.
Yeah, it is a must-win, like you say, and potentially on a level of a should-win. That drop, I think, will have been heard by Corey. Double nadage comes in. Bibu is completely unfazed. to find the first. Does get a bit stuck on his way out, but he's all good. Aaron spotting there? No, okay, so he is hidden away. Nice little two-man setup. He's going to peek on Poyer's contact. I like it. The only issue is if they contact up the ramp itself, but they are not quite brave enough to do that yet on the alternate attack side. And again, maybe a little mini read in a sense from PERA to say that why would they go for a move so risky in a round so important?
Yeah.
And indeed, the bluff has been called, and they're back to B.
Numbers disadvantage. Time ticking. That's not a good place to find yourself in. Smoke to right side inside of Gen. They're going for it. They're just going to go for a standard Exy here with all this under Yuto. Molotov back 90. One in towards default as well. He's able to flash over. BB doesn't spot out anything. Might be a chance. However, swing on towards the side. They're going to be giving this for free. And as Hype finds a kill, maybe a chance. Oh my god. Maybe not. Corey, that is wonderful work above that smoke. No chance in hell. aTTaX, no bomb plant either. Makes their life even worse.
That is so rough. I tell you what, mate, that is the round goalposts of Counter-Strike. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just could have gone any way, as the ball often does in football when it hits the woodwork. But yeah, there was a bit of spam, wasn't there, onto Corey's position. I think from Orzek, really, really close. Really, really close. If he just finds the head, cool. Round on, round save, bomb down, let's get away. But Corey lives completely healthy as well and picks up that triple, turns it in the favor of PERA. Absolutely mental stuff. And that's the way that this game goes from time to time. He continues fragging out, as does Aaron. We do have a timeout coming in. Well, rather a pause, a tech pause.
Yeah.
Than a direct timeout. So hopefully nothing too serious.
Yeah, hopefully we can get kind of back underway in a second. 4-0 start. Not a terrible place to find yourself in, though. It's honestly, a lot of credit has to be said off the back of a really good few rounds early doors. Any more in the locker would be huge, right? We can steed just a little bit out from PERA to kind of guarantee up at the very least 6 rounds. I think they put themselves in a super solid position. And already 4, nothing to complain about. No real buyout here for aTTaX. Like we said, no bomb plant due to Corey's beautiful work. If the aTTaX reeling, that tech pause, I wouldn't even be surprised if we see even attack pause sooner rather than later because they desperately need a conversation. And if PERA break the lose streak here, it's as best a time as it is to do it, right? You know, with survival in Challenger League on the line.
True. Very, very true. That is something that, you know, it didn't necessarily have the stakes of on the first map, actually. That is something that a very one-sided and an expectant one-sided affair can create. But now that we move on to the second map, suddenly it becomes very scary. Bibu holding strong here. He is a little bit alone. Does have to be careful. Oh, my God. That's so clean. Left, right, left again. Hyped has managed to take him down, get into an advanced position here. Oh, he runs out of ammo. That could have been huge. Really, really turning the tides there. It's unfortunate the ammo runs out. He didn't get a chance to reload it, and PERA saved from peril.
5-0. And of course, opportunity maybe. Slowly but surely make a little run at things. I mean, already a 5-0. I mean, that round there, I'm not going to read too highly into it. There's a couple of moments of aTTaX that might boost their confidence potentially, but another gun round and one which we continue to come back to the same kind of statement of must win. They're not giving themselves too many opportunities anymore. Getting towards the halfway point of this half, and you have to see them really compete. Aaron, looking like he wants to play up close. That flash is a beaut, though. That'll give Freeze the first. That's a massive one to take.
Slowing it way down, though. They'll keep the position that they have, not necessarily bursting or rushing in. Hyped, a little lucky none of those bullets land in his noggin. Late boost hit. Oh, it's nice, but Arrow spots it. Finds the frag. Poyer caught mid-jump. A little bit rough. 5v3 then. Bibu. moving in. It's a solid read here from Alternate Attacks to just freeze it up and wait for the moves to come to them. Because they are indeed incoming. Looking good here for Alternate Attacks. Nobody really blinded up. Freeze takes 2 easily, or make it a 3rd as well. And Alternate Attacks chime in with their first.
Yeah, nice. Nice shot. Nice shots coming through. Nice and easy. And well, all in all, right, that's that first that needs to then spiral into a couple more. You see a bit of consistency come through, but better than nothing. And we'll actually prompt the first tack pause out of PERA where they have to have a conversation themselves. And at the very least, a couple of individuals are coming alive. Freeze in particular, of course, has looked fairly decent these last few. Hyped at a couple of good moments too. T-Sat AWPing on Vertical is not easy. So if he can get active, maybe, just maybe, there's a world in here. I don't think PERA are under too much pressure, all things considered. They got an 8-4 half in that first, and it really did put them in a super solid spot. If they can do the same again, they're going to be absolutely loving life. But all in all, a little pause, a little conversation. And that's it. If I'm right in saying PERA don't have a coach right now, of course they're already coaching for them at Pro League. I guess it's just a conversation within the team, a little bit of a break and a breather before once again going again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so much damage. Splitting the difference, unfortunately. Could make a difference. If he runs out of ammo, where's the cover? It is there. And he's able to make it out, but at the sacrifice of Aaron. All the same, man advantage swings in favor of PERA briefly. Weird little angle from Corey. He's been maybe working on that, but just gets timed on. Leaving Bibu alone, who is heavily concerned about middle. Rightfully so. Perks goes in for 1, faking a run up towards Guardian. And again, Bibu is panicked. Will push forwards, though, and find the kill. It works in favor of the CT. He still has no support. Nade and a flash. Bomb plant coming in. Another flash as well to try and work with and spam down. He comes so close to denying the plant, but not quite. DGL should find this. He does indeed, leaving Orzek all alone all of a sudden. The AWP comes flying in. Orzek spotted him. DGL did not spot Orzek, meanwhile. Gonna take the angle out. The rafter also didn't spot him, but he was seen definitely on the mini-map there. Headshot comes round, and Orzek clutches up 2 in a row now for Alternate Attacks.
Nicely done. Nicely done. A moment in which somebody needed to step up in a good way, and that's exactly what we see. At the very least, it will start to give them that confidence. Now it's gun rounds, right? Now for them, they can say, okay, we actually are making something stick, and they're getting the clutches in their favor too. That was the thing that eluded them a little bit in that previous map where we really just saw in the 1v1s, the 2v2s, etc. They weren't going their way. Now, at the very least, got a few to lean back on. Of course, a lower buy out of PERA. There's an opportunity for ATTaX to make this 3 relatively easy. There's a couple MP9s, though, they maybe have to be a little wary of, but it's not the most fully fleshed out buy.
It's true, but they might be able to make it work. Overwhelming at the top end of ramp does come close. That's big from Freeze. The fact that he's able to pick up 2 makes a huge difference. Bomb retrieve, quick rush to B. Corey, he was on the way, but pulled the brakes ever so slightly, so he's not going to be able to cut them off. 2v2 full-on retake. No kit is the big one here, but recovered AKs. So, certainly on the cards. I like the molly and the smoke as well. Well placed. Could make a big, big difference. Lovely move from Alternate Attacks, meanwhile. Cut out some angles, some avenues. Maybe discover PERA along the way. Not going to be the case. Slow down flash. Doesn't really do too much. Smoke for the stairs. Got to get a player on this bomb soon, though. Ooh, they've actually got a lot of space. Yeah, smoke on the bomb itself. Go for the hold and body block. I mean, why not, right? But not quite dedicating to it just yet. Ooh. Nate comes in. DGL with the 2 headshots. There's no one on the bomb the whole time. No one on the bomb the whole time. I don't know what the move was quite there. They really did not, even with, as you saw, those super fast kills, did not have enough time to get on the bomb. So I don't understand why we didn't have anyone holding. Maybe all I can think is like the smoke was slightly misplaced. Molotov still covered the bomb. That's about all I can think, really.
Yeah, a little nervy. I think it's kind of what we got to see there. A little bit of miscommunication potentially, and before you know it was kind of too little too late, but yeah, it's unfortunate. will be alternate attacks once again now, starting to climb back into this. A 2-round game. Freeze. Contact out via mid seems to be his play. Oh, but the Eagle misses. Uncharacteristic to say it. That should have been the first. That should have been the opener. They're not giving. Poyer's falling off mid as two are starting to make a move here.
Oh my goodness. This could be everything. Threading the needle right now. It's being checked, but yeah, not really thought of. Beautiful gap found. Beautiful gap. And it's now a question of where the heck are they going, you know? There's a real catch-off. Corey definitely will be expected. Hidden away. The aid on top is really solid. That should be the round, to be honest. I think the PERA boys just have to save from here.
So, as the bomb goes down, the remaining 3 will save, and it makes you think as well, if the Eagle found that opening kill, maybe it could have been a work. This is where the communication errors come through for that PERA side, where you just see them, some of these positions that they're holding, the way in which they play it is sort of a little bit weird. It just seems like they don't have the kind of the teamwork and synergy there. At least at the moment. I'm going to go off. Also, actually makes a 1-round game. At least for PERA. Loss bonus and 3 being saved. They can reinvest in, which is fine, right? It's better than nothing. Relying on that is not a good spot to find yourself in. Also does to the bomb. Not the end of the world. Plenty of money for alternate attacks here. Buy back in. PERA, I want to see them get at least 6 just to give them maybe some foundation. The T-side, like we said, of Vertigo can be very difficult. At the moment, I'm feeling a little worried now. These last few rounds have been really great from alternate attacks. We did say that this felt like 3 maps all over it.
In theory, it definitely should get there. You know, PERA drop off, but we're still absolutely in the conversation. We'll see. It's these follow-up rounds, isn't it? It's the draining of money at the moment for PERA. Freeze has made it all the way on towards the A-bomb site. Nobody ready for him at all. A missed shot from Deagle. Surely they've got to know about him. They do now. Absolute pandemonium on the A-bomb site. But somehow, PERA managed to save it. I don't think anybody on that alternate attack side expected Freeze to get in so deep. Corey all alone now. Clean find from him. Smoke going down. Where's this man at gap? Don't rightly know. Flashes in. Risky to push off of that, and they know it. They're just going to hold on to the bomb site. Getting caught up in the chaos ever so slightly here. So not going to go too crazy on that PERA side. Is it an aTTaX still? Alternate attack's not opting to drop back.
Well, tapping. See if everyone's making a move here. So far, nothing. Creeping their way forward. Bomb should be able to go down here, and it will. That's the main thing. Planting in the smoke. Now putting a timer above the head of PERA. Smoke will come down over towards CT. That'll give them an opportunity to cross if they wanted to. It's good. They're played for themselves. The Molotov drop 2 is going to be huge. PERA are struggling to get in on this retake. To make matters worse, they have 1 smoke utilized now, but actually goes a little deep here. If anybody's playing via short, which obviously there isn't, but if there was, they have to be a little wary of it. Nade and a fine. All that for 1. Oh! And Perks will see it off for the second. That was close, but no cigar. Alternate attacks are going to tie this game up 5 rounds apiece.
Yeah, again, I don't know why we're not just committing to the hold. You know,
Yeah.
I think you just have to try and go for it there. I know it's easier said than done. Benefit of hindsight, I'm not in the game. I understand, but like, I think, especially in these low XVX situations, you know, 2v2, 1v1. 1v1's a bit different, but 2v2 for sure. 2vx, let's say.
Yeah.
I think going in for a hold is really a solid idea. Time could have been bought. Run boost! I love it. Successfully executed, but nobody on the other end of the rifle.
Yeah. Aaron will flash himself in. Oh, a lot of damage on towards height, but it's not enough for the kill. Just a little bit. Another thing of kind of close, but no cigar. They've already gone back towards B. There isn't a huge amount of presence here from the CT side, but they are starting to reclaim some space.
Corey Smoke goes down. He goes in for the cross. Are they going to push through this? Very risky indeed. He's flashed up for now. Nade. And MP9 does some decent damage. Unfortunately, no kill. Bibu next to fall. Poya hanging around. Oh my goodness. It is such a mess right now. And Alternate Attack's lucky to have not lost anyone yet. 3v3 definitely is doable. Well-placed spray. Could decide it. However, I think they're back, aren't they? Definitely will be now. They've just got no control there. That's such a shame. That is such a shame, but going to give it another solid go in the final round of the half.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. That'll be that. 3 versus 5, it really is just not a huge amount they can deal with here, especially considering the similar story they've had for a long, long time of just this lackluster economic state. Deagle, get one on the way out. An upgrade, maybe, yes. And he should be okay to stay alive here. The orb's definitely not going to peek around that corner. Aaron might be in trouble, though. He does actually get the support out of Orzek, though, so he will fall to the hands of Poya. As aTTaX taking a lead, 6-5, 6 in a row. It's really good, and we are seeing where PERA have so many of these pitfalls that come in towards this Vertigo on what is meant to be the slightly more favorable side. It honestly kind of feels anything but at the moment. PERA don't get 6, I'm worried, but they don't get a pistol. It could be even worse.
Oh, yeah. Hanging around here. Oh, he's got to be careful. Freeze, trying to close in a little. Again, very cheeky ramp play coming out from Alternate Attacks. Their confidence has grown so much over the past few rounds. And they will overwhelm the A defense. For now, that's a big one. Very unfortunate for Corey. Gun difference at the end of the day. Not all that much you can do about that. Bomb plant comes in. Unconventional plant spot as well. So something different for PERA to deal with if they can make it deep into the retake.
Moved on to make it. Met with Molotovs. That's going to slow him down at least for the moment. Caught with a flash as well to make it even worse. Time ticking, boys. Got to make a move. 2v4. Low one towards Freeze and Arrow, but even still, it's not going to help. And they're just blindly tapping away. This is it. This is done. 7-5 Alternate Attack. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, definitely looks that way, sir. Ooh, wait, hold the phone. They don't have a lot of time is the issue.
Yeah.
Quick couple of kills. Not looking bad in that sense, but yeah, no time to work with. It's unfortunate. However, Alternate Attack, 7 in a row from them. PERA giving themselves a decent space to work with into the second half. We'll see how they do in a few. Hello and welcome back to Vertigo, the one map that no one likes. DGL will kick things off here and towards mid, or will he, in fact? There is a trade back from Hype. There's 2-piece out of him. Morzek is the one to get overwhelmed, though. That's a big exchange. Heavily in favor of PERA. Opens up A, creates panic in the alternate aTTaX camp, and it's quite a weak camp at the moment. Only 2 of them.
August a little quiet off the back of it, but right call, freeze, lovely shots. Just Bibu getting clipped there. Now 2v2, anybody's game, anybody's round, and considering there's a lot of time to work with. What is the play for ultimate aTTaX to try and deny something here? That smoke's gonna fade soon.
Oh, fake plant and a flash. Oh, big opportunity. Freeze left low though. Julie's pushing in, quick find, and a quick trade. That is unfortunate for PERA. Couldn't get it rolling in the 2v2. So close, though. Freeze nearly went down after that initial peak. Makes such a difference that he doesn't, of course, too many to get through in the 1 versus 2. And alternate aTTaX start pretty strong, deny the bomb plant away as well.
Yeah, I mean, as well, I think that really does showcase, again, some of these slight weaknesses out of PERA. Losing that round just showcases where they're a tad with kind of not in the know, right? They just don't really understand it. That 2 versus 2, I don't want to play things for them. Misnade there. It's unfortunate. Could have done a lot of them more damage on towards freeze, but all in all, it's round a bit of a throwaway one nonetheless. PERA haven't really invested into it bar those nades. Swing on towards ramp. They will get a 1-for-1 trade, which isn't terrible in all fairness.
Indeed, pretty good. Arrow hanging around. Spots out a couple more players, but nothing substantial coming off from PERA just yet. I think they want another fight like that, you know. And it's all about this flank, though. Quite fast from the CT side, and now they will begin to crunch. Hype just has to stay alive, wait for the cavalry to get here. DGL, however, will take him down. B250. Doesn't provide any more. Still, a couple of kills, kill bonus, that kind of thing. Always nice when you're on that hard eco.
Yeah, you're not going to say no. Just a few locks trying to make it work. And a couple's not the worst thing in the world. It is a quote-unquote throwaway. This is probably one of the last kind of real true chances for PERA. They've really struggled this game. It's not looked good. If they want to make anything stick, they've got to find this round here and confidently too to give themselves just a little bit of a leg to stand on. I'm not too sure how confident I am, but so moving out via stairs. The Eagle selling a bit of a ruse. Over towards ramp, but so far they're going to try and play much slower approach. They now should know one is back plat, but also gets one for free. Might even get a second here as well. He's spotted, and Aaron will drop him.
Yeah, quick bang back from the PERA side. Leaves B ripe for the taking, actually. Maybe an oversight here from alternate aTTaX. They're going to be so far back. A couple smokes remaining for PERA. Yeah, I think they're in a pretty good spot. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, we got the FAMAS and the MP9. Only a couple of kits could be dropped a bit funky. And PERA have had plenty of time to set up. I think get another smoke down here. And maybe holding those a little too long for my liking, if I'm being kind of nitpicky. They had a cool idea with the boost, I suppose. Not really going to work out for them. Now the charge comes in. And B9 dealt with quickly on the backside. Confirms the location of a couple. Trying to get a kit on that bomb. Not going to happen for them, though. PERA stands strong and pick up the first rifle.
And the big thing as well in that, and they also survived the bomb there as well, just about at the tail end. The big thing is, with that round for PERA, it's just going to give them, like we said, a bit of stability, something to stand on. For them, losing that would put aTTaX on double digits, and before you know it, it's probably beginning of the end in this sort of scenario where we're starting to talk about map 3 already. However, in this spot, look at the buyout for aTTaX. They're into a force, you know, Scout, FAMAS, and a few 5.7s. Win this, PERA make it not only just the 2-round game in the 7th they get here, but then probably a 1-round game because the money's broken for aTTaX. It's a really good spot to be in. They still have to win this one. They still can't falter to the easy rounds, quote unquote. That Molly airburst does actually catch the ledge there. That's an unfortunate mistake.
Happens to the best of us. Cheeky peek. He knows what he's doing. Left eye. Unsure on an angle like that. If your crosshair's going to be fully set up. See you later, freeze. Little starfish all the way down to the ground. 5v3 looking good here for PERA, though. Alternate attacks still do have this FAMAS in the mixture, but not really expecting too much of a defense from the rest of the squad. Maybe a gun or two stolen away. Just trying to slow them down at the moment. I like the idea of a stack right now.
Yeah.
They are, however, stacking out the wrong bomb site. So,
happens to the best of us.
Yeah, you know.
Gamble for a reason, right? And, you know, you can't always win. House always wins, as they say. But, in this time, yeah, it's going to be non-existent. I don't really think it's even worth giving it a go out. The remaining 3 now. Keep hold of what you've got. You're going to have no money to work with next round. So you may as well have at least, you know, a FAMAS and a couple of 5.7s to give yourself a chance. And that's exactly what they're going to go for here. Maybe a little bit of an exit play. If they can get an upgrade of a weapon, that'd be lovely. Pick up a rifle for free, but yeah, that's a big ask in all fairness. Bit of a move in via mid. They're sticking together. In case there's a bit of an attack. Should be able to trade at the very least. But yeah, I'm not expecting big things at the tail end here. PERA, good work. Making the easy round look easy, right? Nobody dying, or at least at the moment. Maybe one down to the bomb, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. Not giving the kills away for free over to those alternate attacks. So when it matters most, they are coming alive themselves. Aaron, have a look at the end. Nothing given up for him. So it'll be PERA making it a 7th, and they should make it an 8th as well. No real money for alternate attacks to work with. So it realistically should be a 1-round game. They can't even really afford to buy around that save. FAMAS on the double 5.7, so kind of hyped and freeze just have to play out USPSs here.
Yeah, this is a little worrying, isn't it? I think the heart rate getting a bit higher for the alternate attacks players. A lot more pressure on their rifle rounds now. We'll find out. We'll find out. PERA, what are they made of here this evening? And has there been some deeper work on that Vertigo T side? As we said, the turnaround from Pro League, you know, not the longest. Still some time. It depends on what you want to go with. You know, if they come back and relaxed and chilled out, maybe. Kia Cardao moves on. That makes life a bit difficult. Maybe they've been trialing players. We don't rightly know. And that's part of the excitement with a game like this. FAMAS, ready to go over on A. Still standing. Not for much longer. Looking good here, taking the fights nice and open. A laboured spray down nearly results in 2 kills for Perks, you know. All the same, it's just going to be freeze on the backside. There is a player or 2 that he could find. However, I think he will be denied that chance. Although I'm saying that, Aaron's walking into his crosshair here. Aim punch gets the better of him. So, cleanly done. PERA bring it within 1. And now all eyes on alternate attacks. What you got for us?
Yeah. This is it, right? Alternate attacks lose this, and you've got PERA not only breathing down your necks, but with a real strong ability to take a lead. If PERA win out round number 18, they tie the game up. Similar story with the economy gets shattered, and already all of this pressure kind of insurmountable on those shoulders. Alternate attacks, this is starting to get to the point of make or break. What do you map down in the series? What a spot you want to find yourself in. Popping out via mid, Perks. Gotta go for probably at least 2 here. Oh, I didn't even get 1. But, oh my god, it's so messy. They go for a stack, and it works against them. Freeze might get caught here. He looked up, and I think he may be a known quantity. They're just going to flood towards B either way, but this is carnage.
Absolute mayhem. I think that is exactly what PERA are after here and trying to employ. It really does stretch your individual ability, you know. Less reading, less game sense going on, and just more click head. Something that PERA have been quite good at. And I think something that as well they actually found great efficacy with against some of the higher tier opponents that they had at Pro League. Few moments here or there, few maps, of course, few results even. Or just the one rather, but all the same, you know, it was enough, I think, to turn a few heads and big conversation around them that they raised themselves. So I think it's fair enough to talk about. We don't usually like to give credence to rumors and stuff, but there are a lot of rumors around this team, really, and what's going on. You know, people always like to find a team that performed well in the qualifiers, particularly the RMR qualifiers that they did well in. And people didn't really like it, let's say. A lot of accusations. And I think they, indeed, quashed those with their performance at Pro League.
It's true. It's true. All tie square. 9-all. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at the buy we've got to work with. Freezes saved them 4. Even getting upgraded pistol is a bit of a luxury as well. Hype wants an AWP next round. Can't afford to even do that, so he's just got 1 smoke to work with. Another kind of gamble play here. Last time it didn't work out for them. This time it feels like at least early doors they've got the right idea. It's not exactly like PERA committed by any means. 9-all though, it's such a big turnaround from where they were. You know, tail end of that first half, they were in a woeful spot.
Oh. Keep your eyes on this now. Freeze. Comes away with a kill. AK. Yoinked. Oh. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's something in the air. Freeze moving around towards B here to try and bolster that up. There's not necessarily been a full-on shift. Corey trying to spot. Has missed that window to drop the M4, but keeping a good amount of attention. In towards middle. Bibu. Gotta be careful, man. Don't go in too deep. Don't lose your life needlessly. He will find the frag eventually. So maybe we are back on. Perks is here. M4 lagging behind now, and Corey has slowly been edging forwards. Good information gained. It's hyped with the AK. Freeze with that rifle. Hyped despite the aim punch. Gets one done. Goes in wildly. Off the bomb they get. Not a lot of time to get the plant in. Aaron, I think he might have just missed the mark, you know. I think he might have just missed the mark. He did, and alternate attacks will get it done. Freeze was playing patiently too. That's absolutely wild.
That's a terrible round to be losing for PERA. Terrible. You know, I mean, a lot of credit has to go to aTTaX, but even still, those sort of rounds never should be lost. A massive one for aTTaX to take with 1 rifle and a few upgraded pistols, barely any U-turn, they make it stick. Really decent work, and you know, they're going to call attack pull straight off the back of it and kind of just make PERA sit in it. Kind of just make them get even a little bit more tilted. Super solid stuff, man. Really good to see. And that might have just saved alternate attacks from what felt like doom and gloom here in this series. Back into the investment, yes. So much more pressure put back on PERA as alternate attacks the first side to crack in towards double digits. Really good stuff either way. And PERA, they're going to be kicking themselves. If they lose this map as well, that's probably the main round that they'll look back towards. Yes, there's been a few kind of rough showings or maybe, you know, instances where they lost rounds and they maybe shouldn't have, but that one there is an absolute howler. Never should be lost.
Yeah, they will be absolutely kicking themselves, is what we love to say. Yeesh. We'll see if they can respond now. A very, very big deal. It would have been a buy from alternate attacks anyway, but you know, they would have that cushion to work with. Now the pressure back on them to perform. And this is the problem. When you lose those big rounds, how much depth do you have to your T side of Vertigo? 0-6 on this map. So all the evidence points to them not really being able to come up with a super cool round. At the same time, keeping it simple can often be effective. Contact ramp, no presence shown from alternate attacks. Just, for the love of God, deal with the sandbags. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
He's going to get one, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to get a kill. There's absolutely no way. Freeze does go down. Arrow has to play this well. If DGL keeps getting kills, it might be all in vain, unfortunately. DGL going to be spotted, and Arrow might have taken him a bit too much time. He gets 2. Has that bought them enough room to get in here? I don't rightly know just yet. Turks is around quite quick. 20 seconds left on the clock. Surely can't deny the bomb plant, but retake, it's on? Question mark? We'll see. Nade comes in.
Late.
Nah, yeah, not quite fast enough. Okay, so PERA have still managed to, you know, catch them out, get in their heads. I think they might start to pull away if they don't spot anyone round this corner, to be honest. No way. No way. We're committing as well on the alternate attack side. Oh my god, this game gets wilder and wilder. Perk's definitely going to save, but that is mental. That is so mental.
Perks, he'll just walk away with his rifle intact, but it's actually basically all they've got to work with. So aTTaX, they take a round back off, you know, nothing, but unfortunately, they have been worse off for wear now, long term. They technically can buy around this. I don't know if your aTTaX whether you gamble with it, though. So you going for a lower buy once again, or does, you know, Orzek can pick a rifle? Yeah, so can Freeze, in all fairness. And then it starts to peter out. Perks maybe would have to drop over the likes of a FAMAS, but then it would limit their util. It's big decisions to be made here. And I think with how successful their one rifle / low buy round was earlier, I'm just going to try it again and hope for the best. 10-all though, back and forth, and PERA will crack into double digits themselves. They'll tie up this game, but it still is absolutely anybody's game here. Either side in any sort of control of momentum. It just feels like ever so slightly it's a little bit more wind in the sails of PERA.
Yes, it is indeed possible. A big question to ask of both teams now, and man, I'm so here for it. This is kind of that level that we wanted from this matchup, that we expected from this matchup. And remember, alternate attacks. They lose this, it's advanced. It's straight into advanced, which is hella rough. And a team that's been a stalwart of this kind of level for a long, long time, I think they'd be disappointed in themselves to be dropping down. And it's a grind out there, man. It is a grind out there in advanced, I tell you what. Aaron. I spotted one on the backside of Jen. A couple of contact flashes here. Eagle, confident, rolling forwards. Ooh, damage is there. And Bibu with a triple kill. Oh my god. In less than a second, that feels like. And there goes the round. So number 11 for PERA. Absolutely locked in now.
11-10. That one already the one guys this time. Much better. PERA 2 rounds away. Bit by bit. Closer and closer. All in all, right, where we're at the moment, this is still a really decent spot. aTTaX, this is their last hurrah. It does feel lose this round, and maybe, just maybe, it could be all over, and it could be them heading down towards advance. You spoke about it. It's brutal. CTGL! Oh, we find the first, and there might be more to come. This might be the end. aTTaX down to 3 already, or potentially is their last full buy.
Not ideal, to say the least, my friend. An unbelievable scene here, if they can get it done. Perks. Hanging about. Creeping in towards mid. He's thinking about it. He is thinking about that push forwards, but unfortunately has to err on the side of caution. So, we look towards Orzek. Can he defend? Is he going to have to? A real slow move here from PERA. Great pace change from them in the middle of the round, actually. Really like this. And DGL comes in again. A Maestro with that AWP at the moment, just commanding them around as he likes. Perks alone. They know where he's at. Round over. Yeah. Maybe even game, especially as he falls in the end.
12-10. Man. Map and series point towards PERA. And it could be their first win in 7 played on this map. Their first win in the last, what, like 4 or 5 months. Ridiculous run of bad form on Vertigo. And their favors might just be about to change here when it mattered most. But it's about ECL survival on the line. aTTaX. They've not shown up. No 2 ways about it. 12-10. Look at the buy we got to work with. Triple MP9, FAMAS and M4. And very limited util too. Early Molly gonna smoke play out. Fire ramp. Looks like PERA just want to fight their way through it.
Yeah, they do have to watch themselves as well. We're starting to talk a big game, of course, but this is not over. Arrow spots a couple out there. Information being gathered, but not really much that they can do to utilize it. Oh my goodness, look at this guy. Deagle is just really on edge right now. Very jittery. It's been paying off, you know, whatever kind of energy he's brought to the past few rounds has been absolutely fantastic, so keep doing it. This is going to get messy. This is going to get really messy. Is there a flash here for the CT side is the big question. It doesn't really look like it. Maybe that will work in their benefit. In fact, two-piece rolls round. They're able to drop back. Yeah, PERA panicked to go around that corner, chasing them. Nobody around there. Wasted nades, unfortunately. Aaron looking for an entry here, but again, there's got to be so very careful. One more kill go in the way of alternate attacks. Could be everything. Oh no, the spam. You've got to be joking. Deagle as well, creeping around this smoke. There's a nice gap to work with here. It is also being looked at by Heights, but he finds the timing. You've got to be kidding. What is going on? The gods of Counter-Strike looking down on PERA here, and they have answered the call. What in God's name? That is unreal.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe that's going to be the way they close it. Unless Orzek's got something special for us. 1v2, MP9, half armor, no util, and a dream. And that dream very, very quickly put to bed. 13-10, they'll close it out. Their first win in 7 played here on Vertigo for PERA, making a 2-0 series. And man alive, you know, aTTaX, for the most part, they never really got going. They really did struggle.
I'm so perplexed. Yeah, those final few rounds as well, just really, really solid from them. Obviously, Deagle on that AWP looked brilliant for a couple of rounds. Bailed them out of a big, big moment. You know, Arrow in behind. Imagine Deagle doesn't find any kills. He gets taken down, let's say. Arrow comes round with, you know, a 2-piece. That's round over. I think the money was really low as well for the T side there, so it could have turned the tides massively. So they get that one, and then, of course, right there at the end, absolute insanity on the timing, particularly around that smoke, again for Deagle. So, you know, really, really playing well towards the tail end and capitalizing on those moments, don't get me wrong, but a bit of luck, you might call it. You create your own luck in Counter-Strike, for sure, but certainly some, let's say, RNG, you know, sometimes alternate attacks are going to get it, sometimes PERA are going to get it. That's the way the game works. That is Counter-Strike, quote-unquote, with the timing. And here it just goes heavily in favor of PERA. So incredible stuff from them. Unfortunately, alternate attacks now will have to go through that grind of advanced next season, which I think is a bit of a surprise. They've been looking really good, but the way the chips fall, you know, there's so many tournaments going on for a team like this. ECL, if you miss the mark, couple of teams in here that we have maybe not in as many tournaments. We talked about like Space, for example. Yep. They're really just focusing in, so you can get caught off. They can prepare for their matchups a bit more, and it's unfortunate for alternate attacks. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's some really good Counter-Strike coming through as well. You know, BB had a very, very good first map. It was Deagle who kind of stepped up, I think, primarily at the end. I think, obviously, Aaron had that really nice play through the smoke, but all in all, we just saw in the rifle rounds for the most part, this aTTaX side can never really get going. They really did struggle, and I think they probably need to get kind of you know, take a step back away and basically say, hey, you know, we need to work on a few things. Of course, we do have our player to watch off the back of our Kidia player to watch. Of course, there was that of Deagle. We highlighted this guy coming in towards the matchup because he was incredible at Pro League and he stepped up. Really decent series out of him. 2.3 KDR is not too bad at all. And he got going quite significantly in towards that second map, especially. A little bit of a quieter one by his standards, but, you know, a 2-0 or all, who cares? A win is a win, right? I think the main thing for me is that for PERA, coming off the back of Pro League, coming in towards, you know, back onto online Counter-Strike, which can be a little bit of a harsh adjustment where you kind of just maybe actually take things a little bit too comfortable. We see that happen occasionally. Teams come back off the, you know, a big S-tier LAN and they're back into online Counter-Strike and they don't take it as seriously. PERA, come in, don't pull any punches and make it look quite clean. Yeah, I mean, really, really solid showing from them. I think, again, the Pro League and the amount of reps that they actually managed to get at Pro League on this map may well have sort of, by osmosis, improved their vertigo. Was obviously very, very close there, you have to say, but maybe your first win makes a lot of sense. It would be close, particularly against a team that are super effective on the map conventionally. So I think there is credit to PERA. Again, though, I think what we see a lot of, particularly on Mirage, is just a much more confident-looking team flying straight into the fights. A few cheeky moments in the middle of rounds they probably wouldn't do if they weren't on that higher plane, on that, like, yo, I made this work against a leech, so here it's going to be fine, right? Yeah. That kind of feeling at the moment, and we talked about it a bit, that there's like that post big event honeymoon that some of these tier 2 teams can have, and they certainly seem to be on it at the moment. Comes at the right time for them, keeping them alive in ECL.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies and gents, that is us done and dusted here for our game. All in all, no real complaints. Really nice bit of Counter-Strike coming out from PERA. There still is a game going on the B stream, so you may as well go and check it out. Of course, Team Space taking on Eyeballers over there. Eyeballers took map number 1. It's looking like Team Space are in the lead, map number 2. So that one might be going towards 3. Go and check it out. You do not want to miss it. For now, though, we're going to bid you farewell. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And until next time, see you soon.